Well, here we go again. Nothing like a hot water heater and issues with that hot water heater. What to do? Just trying to live the coolest life. So I wake up one morning. I think it was a Friday, and we were about ready to go out of town, go on a Savannah trip to go see my daughter over at Georgia Southern. And so we get up, and I wander in the kitchen, and I hear it. Tss, and as I walk in the kitchen, on my hardwood floors, I hear a yeah, kind of like that. I think I stepped on some ketchup or something, but no, it was water coming through between the seals of the planks of my hardwood floors. So what it was at one time we had a blue, this thing. It is a pressure sensitive thing. Look at a little dent there. But what it is you're supposed to put equal pressure in this as you do is the water that comes in the house. So anyway, right here there was a leak. Not on this one, but my other one, which was blue. But there was a leak right there, and it was squirting water down this way. So I don't know if I had a pan down there, if it would have done me any good at all. But check YouTube. Wasn't that hard. I figured out that all this is basically I could just unscrew this and then put another one on it. I got that from Home Depot, I believe it was. Make sure I put the putty tape or pipe tape there, and obviously cut off the water system, which was there, but not the one at that end, because that's the one end that goes to the house. I just relieved the pressure going to the other parts of the house, and unscrewed this thing. A little bit of water came out of it. Put this one right back on top, and we're good to go. Sort of. I did mention the noise, right? Well, that happened because it got here in the kitchen. And I had hardwood like that, all that over there. This hardwood was all in here. Obviously, as you can see, I had to pull it all up. And of course these were wet, so we let these set outside for the day. And while we were gone for the weekend, we actually brought them inside. But as hot as it's been in Georgia, it didn't take long at all for it to dry. So they were good and dry. I think they sat out there 8 to 10 hours, something like that. We brought them back inside, and I stacked them back in here in the laundry room, as you can see, somewhere against the board. We were afraid they were going to possibly warp, so we laid most of them down like this. But the rest of these are good. Put them in here by size. It's almost impossible to pull them up and say, okay, this one goes in lane 2, slot number 4. That'd been a nightmare to keep up with. So we'll just put this back together like a puzzle. We're going to lay them out row by row, get them as close as possible, and make sure we've got the right section pieces, the shorter pieces, and also some of them have been cut. As you can see, this one here has been cut. You can probably see that one there is actually going to go around the door frame. It's going to go around the door frame here at the bottom. Right down there at the bottom, or possibly even that door frame down there at the bottom. And there's a couple others that have been cut the same kind of way. That one. We've also got some that got cut that go around this. As you can see them right down there at the bottom. That one right there has been cut. But sounds like great fun. Hopefully I give you a picture of the completed project, and we'll be back in business. Obviously I had to pull out the washer and dryer. Oh, I did one other thing. Let me show you this. So these spigots here are leaking. Now, not while I got water hooked up to them, but they're leaking when I don't have anything hooked up to them. They won't turn completely off. Is that a problem? Well, considering I typically leave them on totally all the time, it's not too much of a problem. But while they're not hooked up, it is a problem. So you don't want it leaking down into your walls. So what I did was I took this right here and made myself a gutter. Let the water come in here. I cut a little notch out there because that's the drain hole going out. So I cut a notch out there, and so now the water leaks in here. As you might even be able to see it leaking, drip, drip. This one here is leaking really slow. But this one's got maybe, I don't know, a gallon every 4 hours or something like that. So it's leaking in there and it's going straight down the drain. So all this is still dry. So that's a good thing. So that's something you just kind of adapt and overcome and try to see if you can think of a solution. But on to more work. Hopefully I'll finish up this video with a completed project. Wish me luck. Well, it took me a while, but we finally got the washer and dryer back in here and the floor fixed, and that thing there is working fine. And got the big tank installed. That wasn't quite as hard as I thought it would be, and I had an issue with the thing leak, as I mentioned it to you. But putting this floor back together was really the pain. I mean, this thing was. Doesn't look half bad, does it? Looks like I meant to do that. Let's just say there might be a couple little things that didn't kind of go back together like they should have. But any kind of mistakes, you just find some place to hide them, like, under there. Well, it happens. Come on. Didn't want to go back together. I had to take a jigsaw out and cut a couple of pieces. Well, I cut maybe 3, but it still fit, and it all looks good. So real happy with it, the way it came out. Haven't been doing much else of that, but I will tell you this: I took up a lot more of this floor than I had before. Before I took up a V, went between the island, but this time we had so much water, I took it up all the way to the far wall, and no fun at all. Let me tell you, I don't want to do it again. Anytime you take up a floor like that, if you don't know exactly what direction they started at, it's harder to put it back together, and then you got to kind of think ahead. Doesn't matter what direction, you got to put it up. You got to put it back together this way because that part of the floor has already been filled in. So that can be troubling, and that's what happened here. I ended up having to put the last boards in against the wall and against this side, which this is probably where they started, and they went that way to the other side of the room. So that's probably what happened there. But anyway, I had to put it in backwards, and sometimes you got to stick them in like this and pound and pound, 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 because you're putting them between boards. So that was no fun, but that was another adventure, because we're just out here trying to live the coolest life. But be sure to join us on another adventures. Be sure to like and subscribe. We got a lot more coming up. Going to be in the process of selling this house and being a full-time RVer. That should be fun. Oh, I do have some big news on my next video. I might just tell you a little bit about that. It has something to do with an RV, but or should I say something about being an RV inspector. Anytime you buy an RV, you should get it inspected, new or used. But I got some news. Have to join us then, because I'm still trying to live, and we're all trying to live the coolest life.